You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Welcome back to I Am Refocused Radio. Once again, we are here today, and just like any other time, we have another amazing show line for y'all today. Today, we're all going to be for a ride because, you know, personal development is a hot buzz thing. So is success coaching. But guess what? We have a powerhouse today with Amy Lenius. She is not just going to share her secret sauce. She's going to share what is all about behind the scenes being a director of group coaching at Next Level University. They have a website you can go to. It's nextleveluniverse.com and go to the specific site / group-coaching. But let's cut to the chase because you know how it is. I do these introductions and they end up taking 25 minutes of the whole show. So let me just kind of be quiet and let Amy get in the show and say first of all, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm so good. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you. I'm really looking forward to our conversation. Like you said, let's jump in. 25 minutes is quick.
It's too quick, but people love it. So you can't mess with the recipe. The recipe tastes good. Don't switch it up, man. Don't switch it up. So kind of give us the behind the scenes backstory of what do you do?
I partner with a company called Next Level University, like you said, and it was founded by two guys back in about the same time you started 9 years ago. So they are 9 years into what started as a podcast. They started with once a week and then 3 days a week, 5 days a week, and now it's every day. They are a 7-day-a-week podcast called Next Level University, and it is all about personal development and finding your version of success and how the two go together. And that has grown into an entire company of coaching, podcast producing, group coaching. We do a podcast accelerator program for that. And we also do incredible things like a free monthly masterclass, book club. And I personally got into that actually as a client first. I fell in love with everything these two guys, Kevin Palmieri and Alan Lazarus, were doing and building, and how they were talking about holistic self-improvement for the sake of success. Now, we don't use holistic self-improvement anymore because no one knows what the hell that means. And so we usually say personal development. But holistic self-improvement, meaning everything affects everything else. People like to categorize and put themselves into boxes and pretend that their professional life doesn't affect their personal life or their health doesn't affect either one of those. When in reality, if we can get, even just 0.1% better every day in health, wealth, quality of life, and love, we can be more holistically successful and embrace that those all go together. And I fell in love with everything they were doing. I became a client first. They produced my show and were coaching me through my businesses and public speaking. I used to speak a lot on natural wellness stages for women's health. My background originally is in anatomy and physiology, and I myself grew up very sick. And on my healing journey, I fell in love with the word holistic. Again, how everything affects everything else. It wasn't just about one piece of my body that needed attention. It was all of it, and including my external environment, not just my internal environment. So here these guys were talking about it from a success and growth standpoint, and I loved that. And being a client, being enmeshed in their community, I got asked to come down and MC their live event one day. And I say come down because I myself am in Canada. They're down in the States. And that was just a really incredible opportunity because I had done a lot of public speaking, but more on health and wellness, not personal development and things. And so it was one of those say yes and figure it out kind of situations. I went down, I got to hang out with them for the day and be a part of that and MC the day and open up the day. And it was such an incredible experience. And I fell in love even deeper with them and what they do. And I just dove deeper and deeper into the company from there over the last 4 years. Now we have individual coaching. I have my own coaching through that. And I, like you said, I run group coaching as well. I'm the facilitator there, but it is something that the three of us do together. So it is my absolute favorite thing that we do because you get all three of us in that program. And our goal is to just help people grow and find their version of success and teach them how to get it.
And the key word, grow. I mean, that's what this show is about too. So you're in the right place to be talking about this for our audience. I mean, when you think about all the kinds of people you help in all walks of life, all different stories, different backgrounds, different whys, different purpose, but something we all have in common, and that is every day we get to choose what we want to do in life. You know, we don't always get it right 100%, but who does? I mean, name one famous athlete that never lost a game. You know, Babe Ruth said it famously, you can't win yesterday's games. You can't win today's games with yesterday's home runs. You got to keep swinging the bat. So when you're dealing with people from different all walks of life, what does it actually look like when someone is finally saying, you know what, I need this shift to happen because I'm tired of chasing success and I need to start building something that actually feels more fulfilling for my life?
Mm-hmm. And I love the way you said that. It is. They're tired of chasing and just spinning their tires with busy work and stuff that they maybe think needs to be done, but really doesn't. And they're ready to actually build a solid foundation and start putting all of that attention and time and energy into things that actually move the needle towards their goals. And so we do, like you said, it's all walks of life. It's a lot of people who are looking to build their own businesses, or we work with a lot of podcasters looking to monetize and things as well. And we also get in just beautiful humans who are so heart driven and looking to just grow themselves, to have their version of success. And sometimes that looks like I work with a lot of women who are just looking to have their version of a peaceful, passionate, purposeful life and how to build that. And I think where we see a lot of excitement is when people want to do the building part, the motivating part, the pieces that seem really, really exciting. And that's where we say we help you with what you want, but we also get to dive in and help you with what you need. And a lot of it is with that internal work. So yes, all of these results and the external and the momentum and chasing new habits and things like that are really exciting. But there's also the deconstruction. Yes, there's construction, but the deconstruction that needs to happen behind the scenes, where it's okay, what beliefs are getting in your way? What thoughts are getting in your way? What, of all the different personality assessment buckets, which ones do you fall into? There's pros and cons to all of them. And do those pros and cons serve your goals or hinder you? And how can we help you stop running those patterns and cycles unconsciously, bring them conscious, and have you make more empowered decisions based on your goals? We're really big on goals, reverse engineering those into daily habits and helping people be consistent through a lot of identity work, self-belief, self-worth, teaching them how to be consistent. It's fascinating to see how all of those things, it doesn't matter what your version of success is. I mean, Alan himself, he's our CEO, our business major, computer engineer, genius. He works with very high level business owners, and the same principles are applying to even some of the people that I work with, who I have this beautiful woman, stay-at-home mom. She's dedicated to motherhood and things right now, but she also wants to start building something of her own that can grow as her children grow. And she just wants to start bringing in $300 to $500 a month, doing something that she really loves. Principles are the same about how to be consistent, how to build self-belief, how to build self-worth. And so it's actually really, really beautiful that success fundamentals work across the board. Those unsexy compounding principles work for everybody. Just not as many people are excited to talk about them or listen to them because they're not that sexy, flashy, instant gratification kind of thing.
I like everything you're saying because, again, that's what this show platform is all about. So you being able to talk to our audience is emphasizing why we're here. And once again, just now tuning in, listen to I Am Refocused Radio, watching us online, talking to our special guest, Amy Lenius. Go to her website. It is nextleveluniverse.com. I said in the intro that she's helping all kinds of people, all walks of life. She's the director of group coaching at Next Level University. But for the past 9 years, she's been helping thousands of women define success from the inside out. When you think about the foundation, we all need to have a core, not just a why. Because the funny, if I can be a comedian for 5 seconds, is when there's a problem, we like to circle around the mountain. When all it sometimes takes is for us to actually go to the mountain and find out what's the root problem, if that's possible. But it's better than running in circles. That's kind of like I give up, I wave the white flag, and I'm crying, and, woe is me. You guys stop that type of mentality. When you look at the core and foundation, what's the main building blocks that people that you help start to really see progress, what are those core principles that kind of position them better versus before starting?
One of the greatest things that we not only assess in others, but help them assess in themselves, and is such a foundational builder of success, is something called self-belief. And that's what came to mind when you asked me that question. Self-belief is a simplistic term for self-efficacy. It's what you believe you're capable of achieving and creating in the external world. And it doesn't have to mean that you know everything. I know how to do this and I can get it done. It also means you believe in your capabilities to ask the right people the right questions, to learn and to implement what you learn. You have high self-efficacy, capacity, capability, and you believe that you yourself are capable and valuable. That is not the narrative of everyone. And that's okay. Everyone has different levels of self-belief. What's really exciting is that no matter what level of self-belief you have, maybe it's really low and you actually don't believe you're very capable, competent, and that you add value as an individual, that is okay. Know that about yourself. Self-awareness is a superpower. If you can start in a place of truth and humility and actual self, then you're going to build a more solid foundation. And when we see people in this industry speaking very hype, if you're not capable, if you're not making $1,000 a day and you're this, they're speaking at a very high level of self-belief language. And that only speaks to a certain percentage of the population. If you speak to someone who has high self-belief the same way you speak to someone who has low self-belief, you're doing a lot of detrimental damage. They speak very different languages. And most people out here are speaking levels of high self-belief because they themselves are achievers and had high self-belief, and that's what got them there. And so we see a lot of people come in with high self-belief and low self-worth, but we can talk about the difference between that. But even then, self-belief isn't something you're born with and have capped. This is your level and this is what you get. It's something you can build. And we help people build more of it. It is a simple formula. I would love to teach you all how to do it. It's state-proof self-assign. And yes, it's a simple formula. That doesn't mean it's easy. None of this internal work is usually easy. There's something along the way that is going to trip you up, a belief, a thought pattern, something. But to build self-belief, it's all about saying you're going to do something, actually doing it and getting it done, and then having that moment where you build it into your identity of, hey, nice, I did the thing I said I was going to do. And we want to do this on a day-to-day basis rather than just when the big things come along. Because when the big things come along, if we've been doing this every day, we don't end up with imposter syndrome because it makes sense of how we got there and why we got there, because we have record of it every day of the things that we did. We built into our identity that we were capable of doing the things every day that got us there. And so I love doing this for simplistic things that you're already doing every day. It's why I love a daily to-do list. Write 3 things down that you're going to do. Get them done, and then cross them off the list and have that little moment of, hey, I said I was going to do this thing. Nice. That repeated over time and time again, builds self-belief, builds more self-efficacy, self-trust, and belief in your capabilities. And that is something that is foundational across the board when it comes to success principles.
And think about priorities. When you put things on your to-do list to do, the whole 3 thing idea is great, because the more busy you become, the more you need to focus on your priorities. And I see myself pushing other things away until I hit my top 2, top 3 priorities for the day, because it becomes a very bad habit to have your top list suffer because, oh, yeah, make time for this and make time for that. But sometimes the best thing you can start doing is say no. And that allows you to focus on what's very important.
Mm-hmm. The bigger your goals, the more you're going to have to say no. The bigger your goals, the more you are going to have to be so discerning with what those things are that you do every day. And a filter that we love to teach people, and why we love goals and habits and things so much, is that as soon as you have a goal, everything is now for or against the goal. Every thought, every belief, every action, it's either towards the goal or against it. And that is such an empowering question to ask yourself when you are, say you are one of those people who just naturally likes to be busy. Or nowadays we see it as a badge of honor almost. Everyone's just like, oh, how was your weekend? Oh, we're so busy. Oh my goodness, we're so busy. This, right? It's this badge of honor.
Watching Netflix.
Right. It makes it feel like we're really doing something and that we're achieving something if we're busy, when in reality, so much of that busy work is actually probably taking away from the life or the person that you truly want to be. And so when you have a goal, everything is either optimal for the goal or not. It's not right or wrong. There is no necessary right or wrong when it comes to these things, because your goal might need the opposite action of what my goal needs. If you're trying to gain weight and put on muscle mass and I'm trying to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie surplus. I need to be in a calorie deficit. Not right or wrong, it's just based on the goal. And so the second you have a goal, you have such an empowering filter to say yes or no to certain persons, places, things, ideas.
You also help your clients to reconnect to who they truly are. Now, my question for you is it that they don't know, or they do know, or do you help them know? If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's both. It depends on the individual. They do know, but they don't feel either worthy enough or strong enough to live it, or they feel very suppressed, or they don't know because they've just allowed every external factor to come in and build who they are. Now, we all have a little bit of both, I feel like. A lot of us are brought up in certain beliefs. We're brought up in certain expectations. We're brought up in certain beliefs and capabilities and all sorts of things. And that builds underlying unconscious beliefs in all of us. And so when you can help someone, you know what, one of my favorite things to do actually for people is help them understand what their core values are. Because those are things that are already within us, but we just have to uncover them. We have to discover what they are. Because just like goals, having that filter in place, core values do the same. It helps you say yes and no to things that are actually going to feel fulfilling versus draining. It helps you understand why certain things felt like a really good idea, but actually ended up not resonating with you at all. And some things didn't make sense at the time, but actually were the greatest things you've ever done. And again, that's when you look back. Hindsight's always 20/20. But when you understand what your core values are, you have another piece of yourself to implement into all of your decisions. Again, persons, places, things, and ideas. And to discover your core values, you know, Brene Brown has an extensive, great list online. You just Google Brene Brown core values, and it's a very extensive list. Take a highlighter, highlight all the ones that you love and feel resonate within you. And if you're anything like me, you're going to start with about 30. And that's okay. We don't want 30 though. We want about 3 to 5. So what I did is I started collecting those all the 30 that I collected, and started grouping them into words that made sense to me, into headings that made sense to me. Oh, these all really feel like growth. And so one of my core values is growth. And there was a bunch of different ones that I put into that category that I felt resonated with me. Give it its own title. And another group was really dedicated to what I felt like was love. Contribution in this world, love, family, having a family-centered paradigm. That all fell into the heading of love for me. And another one was freedom. A lot of them fell under freedom, and the majority of them did. So that was my number one. My core values go in order of freedom, love, and growth. And when you look at my life before I knew that, and you look back, you can see, oh, that makes a lot of sense. I love having my own schedule. The second I realized you can be an entrepreneur, or now I'm an intrapreneur in an entrepreneurial journey, that was the path for me. Absolutely. I homeschool my children. We live out in the country on a dirt road. I have chickens. I love freedom and making my own schedule and things like that. You can see it everywhere. And my life feels so fulfilling and so aligned. And it's because I'm living in that value. And same, love being the second one. Growth, I grow myself. I help my children and things grow every day. That. And when I'm living in those core values, if I had to pick a fourth, it would be integrity. There was a bunch that I felt like went under that label. You can see now. And so when I try and say yes to things, when I'm healing, let's say my people pleaser in me, and I want to say yes to something, but I can see that it goes against one of those core values, I instantly have such an empowered reason to say no. And it gives me so much permission to do so. If you are creating a business and your core values involve time freedom, movement, and exploration and variety, but you start building a brick and mortar business, you are going to feel suppressed in some way. You need something more mobile where you can travel and be more flexible. You're going to feel more fulfilled that way. So the earlier on we know our core values, again, it's never too late, but the earlier on that we know, the sooner you know what your core values are and you start living through that lens, the more abundant and fulfilled you're going to feel. And that's a part of how we help people uncover who they are and help build a life and success around it.
Once again, listen to Refocus Radio, watching us online, talking to our guest today, Amy Lenius. And part of that, too, is slowing down. One thing I would say is when you get a big win, it feels good, obviously. But sometimes we're not careful. We lean on that win. And things get a little plateau, if you will. Being consistent is not always sharp. It gets dull because we're living off the wins in the past. And it's like, well, what's new? You know, are you still consistent? What else are you doing? Like they would say, what have you done for me lately? When you think about the easiness, convenientness, if I can put it that way, of making excuses, of staying at a certain level when you know you have potential for more. They would say, I heard this before, discipline knocks on the door, but temptation leans on the doorbell. Knowing that, it's easy to get very complacent and want to chill for too long. How do you work with your clients to keep them aware? Because all of us going to get lazy on the couch. I do all the time. But you have to catch yourself when you do that too long and say, okay, enough is enough. How do you help your clients to stay motivated to when they get to that point in their life where they get too comfortable? Okay, I need to have some more discipline and get back up to handle some business.
Two things come to mind there. The difference of the comfort zone, growth zone, and anxiety zone, and the difference in people who settle once they've won. So some people stop when they win. Some people stop when they're losing. So Which one are you? Self-awareness always, when we can identify and help listeners identify, because it's hard to just speak into one person because there's so many different types of people listening. So which one are you? Do you slow down when you're winning, or do you slow down and feel overwhelmed and stop when you're losing? If you're on a growth trajectory or success pattern or whatever it is that you're building towards, both are a mistake. What are you doing, or what are you not doing anymore that got you to that win? That's what we try and point out to people, is people do so much to get to that win, and then they can only sustain the win for so long if they stop doing the things that got them there. They'll start saying, okay, well, now I'm not getting any new clients coming in, or now, everything that doesn't get your attention falls into chaos. There's a law, that literally universal law, that dictates that. And so it's, okay, what did you do to get there? And how can you still keep doing those things every day, just at a higher level based on where you're at now? You always want to expand and build into capacity and sustainability, but it's, what did you stop doing? Because the wins that you're celebrating right now, if you're not continuing to do the things you did, it's going to start going back down for you. So do you want that to happen or not? You look at that with health, with anything really. And so knowing that about yourself, do you stop when you're winning or do you stop when you're losing? And both are a mistake, because one, people never give themselves the gift of time anymore. You and I talked about that a little bit in the preamble, is that you need time to really see true potential, true success, and understand that you're also never going to get there. There's always more to do, to achieve, to become. You can build self-worth forever, all sorts of things. And so are you looking to achieve a specific outcome and stop forever? And most people say no, but they act like they do. So that's kind of what came to mind there. But also people living in their comfort zone, like you said, with the leaning on the door that's keeping you there. Your comfort zone, it's there. It exists. It's really important. You feel safe here. That's what it really is where you, as a human and your nervous system, feel safety. And that has been built over time from childhood and all the things that needed to keep you safe. And some of them are some pretty heavy protectors that aren't allowing you to expand now because it's trying to keep you safe. And so we love to talk about, if you picture a target, the center of the target is the comfort zone. That's great. We all have it. We all deserve to be there, for sure. The next layer is the growth zone. And what we see too many people do is they jump from the comfort zone into the outer ring, which is the anxiety zone. They jump from 0 to 10 instead of from 0 to 1 into the growth zone. If you can consistently dip your toes into the growth zone, not only does your comfort zone expand, your growth zone expands and your anxiety zone shrinks. But if you are setting yourself up for failure regularly by going from 0 to 10, from jumping from your comfort zone into your anxiety zone and then convincing yourself you're not capable or the thing you're trying to do isn't for you, you'll either blame yourself or the thing. You'll run back into your comfort zone and convince yourself that that's where you need to stay. But in reality, you're just not setting yourself up for success. We need to dip our toes consistently into the growth zone to expand that way.
And it's too bad the show time is not 4 hours because I could probably talk that long on this topic. But I want to ask one more quick thing, probably end up on the podcast, not the radio station, but bonus for the content for the podcast version is, in wrapping this up, going full circle, when you think about, just think about yourself. I mean, you've been featured on hundreds of podcast shows and all this stuff, doing all this work that you're doing. All of this is a journey. I mean, you're talking about making progress. Everything is moderation. So, right, you have to be able to adjust to challenges and life surprises. Life will always throw you a curveball, and sometimes you're going to strike out. That's part of life. But it's not about quitting. That will get you somewhere. It's about locking in, like the youngest will say, and understanding that if you do what is necessary based on what you know at the moment, then you will adjust. You will learn. I like what you said, 0 to 10 or 100, whatever number you put out there, because that's how it is a lot of times. We don't like to hang out in the growth zone because it's either too hot or too cold, and we want to shrink back. So as I land a spaceship, based on your own experience, understanding how you've been able to hit these milestones, what are you noticing with yourself every time you're able to break that next ceiling and really reflect on what helped you to get there?
I notice each time that I need to come back to the fundamentals, because that's what really works. I'm not immune to shiny object syndrome where it's, maybe this will be, but if I dive into this and that'll keep me busy and that'll take me to this next level and it takes me away from my fundamentals. And the fundamentals that I do every day that compound over time are the reason I am where I am. And so I do this with my clients. I make sure I do this with myself. We're always looking back. Okay, what got me here? What worked? What doesn't? How can we double down on what's working? How can we let go on what's not? We always say delete, delegate, double down. There are so many things that as you grow, you can delete. You can start to delegate the things that are still important, but you maybe have grown into a space where you can outsource that thing so that you can double down on the things that you are building, that you are excellent at, and the things that you love about the work that it is that you're doing. That came to mind. It's constantly, we're expanding and then you hone. You expand and you hone. Alan and I, when we're on calls, we go like this together. We'll make this motion because we're in expansion. Okay, this is amazing. We've expanded into this. What can we drop? What about this expansion isn't necessary? And how can we hone into this new space, into what is working? Delete, delegate, double down. And if you have a brain like mine, and especially the female brain, we like to think everything is urgent and important. It's not. It really isn't. If you can learn what is truly urgent and important and put time and effort into the things that really matter to you. Again, even just through the through line of your core values, giving yourself permission to value those things and live in those things and have those things be important no matter what external presence is trying to tell you to be different. It's that. It's what can you delete, delegate, and double down as you grow into an aligned space that is built for you, by you, and that makes sense to you. I constantly come back to that, to my foundation, to my fundamentals, and then what do I need to double down on now based on where I'm going? What can I delete?
I almost want to put that on my website and steal it, but I'm not. You might want to put that on a t-shirt if you haven't already. I'll wear that t-shirt, like for real. That'll be a heck of a conversation icebreaker right there, because that's not just smart. That proves why when individuals, when they really zoom in, lock in on their purpose, their why, their goal, what makes them sparkle, if I can even say that. I don't even know why I said that. That just came in my brain. Sparkle. Let's go with that. It's something about that. You can't really teach that. Like, you can learn all you can when you're out in the field, but when you come back, that's the magic part, right? When you come back, you get all the stories, all the funny, embarrassing moments, but you also have you, right? You have your fingerprint, you have you, your story, you matter. And when you understand you matter, then you start to see that other people matter. And I have to land a plane, a spaceship, because they're saying the time is too long. And even though we passed the radio time length, this is a nice bonus, because we might have to try to get you or your people on the show, because I feel like this is so aligned with the show. I can't stop talking. My people are like, man, just land the plane. I will. So with landing the plane, we're talking to Amy Lenius. You can go to her website, is nextleveluniverse.com. I'm going to have you back on, because like I said, when you have good, like-minded, say it backwards, like-minded people, it's like a warm campfire, and you don't want to leave that campsite. So thank you for doing this. You have time, you want to have a call to action, what people can do to keep in touch with y'all if they are interested in booking you all. How can they do so?
Oh, well, thank you so much for all those kind words. Oh my gosh, that means the most to me. These conversations with like-minded people like yourself deeply fuel me as well. So thank you. And I am a simple being. It's just at Amy Lenius on Instagram and Facebook. I love those, because when you reach out, you get me. We deeply believe in human-to-human connection and community now more than ever. And so you're not getting an assistant. You're not getting AI. You get me. And if you want to have a conversation there, I would love to have a conversation with you.
Like always, until next time, because I really got to go now. Thank you for your time.